I'm John Devore. We are in Monkey House, which is my office in Devore Fidelity. Devore Fidelity is going to be 18 years old this year. I've been in the Brooklyn Navy Yard since 2002, and in this space since 2003, I think. The idea behind it was really just to make an average room. It wasn't, obviously it's not an anechoic room, it's not heavily treated. I wanted to just have a sort of a normally sized, normally built room in which to do most of my listening, because that's the environment that the speakers are designed to be used in. Records have accumulated over the years on most walls now. The last time I estimated, it was maybe around 10,000, or maybe slightly under 10,000 somewhere, but it's probably around that neighborhood now. Growing up, I was the kid who had most of the records, and I was the kid who made mixtapes for all of my friends. Mixtapes, literally, like actually on cassettes. I still have most of those early records that I had. Actually, can I grab it and I will?
Yeah.
So there are 3 records that I remember having before any others. One of them is Cannonball Adderley, Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. B-side is Games. It's a couple of, it's a Joseph Zalnul tune done live. This is 1968, I think this one is. One of them, the only one of the 3 that I don't have anymore is the LP from the Banana Splits, which was a TV show in the 60s that I loved. And then the third one is Switched on Bach, which is this is Walter Carlos, who later became Wendy Carlos, doing Moog synthesizer arrangements of Bach. And this is the other record that I remember having before I ever had a record that I wanted to buy myself, or that I remember buying and regretting or anything like that. And I wore these out. I mean, I played these all the time on my little white plastic turntable with the orange plastic arm, and I loved them. And I still have them. I still play them. They still sound okay. And then the first record that I remember buying with my own money is actually right here in Soundtracks. When I saw this movie, it changed my life. When I saw this movie, I was 11. And I think the day after I first saw it, I demanded my mother take me to the record store. And this is the first record that I remember buying with my own money. In the beginning of this video, I called my office Monkey House. And that name goes back to a series of parties that I had. I occasionally will have them still, but I had them years ago when I had more recently built the room. And those parties were specifically non-audiophile music listening parties. So one of the things that I've always been concerned with in my speaker designs is making them attractive, but not flashy, not too high tech, with the goal being, and relatively compact for their performance, and with the goal being that they go in the living room instead of going in some distant listening room with the locked door that the kids aren't allowed in. And I want families to have music playing all the time instead of have the TV on all the time. And so as far as I'm concerned, the more great hi-fi systems that get put in actual family rooms or living rooms, the better. So these Monkey House parties, it would just be records, and I would invite a pretty broad range of people to come, generally not audiophiles necessarily, although sometimes it would be some customers, or it certainly would be my industry friends and things like that. But I would also invite musicians. I would invite absolutely non-audiophile friends, and I would encourage them to invite their friends, people who I don't even know. And I would try to not play any of my own records, and I would encourage them all to bring their own records. And it was great. Obviously, it was getting the word out about sharing music and sharing the experience of listening to a stereo, not doing it in isolation, but also getting people back in touch with records. The records can be a really nice entry into what the whole audiophile experience can be in the best of terms. Absolutely, I think it's a key ingredient, and it's a great way to get people interested and get people to sit down and listen to other people's music and relax, soothing. For me, it's meditative. There's a lot of reasons.